Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we're taking a look at the new Ace and Whitebeard Super Sugo for the New Year celebration, taking them into some regular content and having a chat about what the character can do, how it rocks, how it rolls, and how valuable the character will be over the next sort of couple months and moving forward. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the most fun characters that I've seen on OPTC in a very long time. They released a new mechanic. Well, not much a new mechanic. It kind of came out with Raise Max, but they came up with an ability for the captain where if you use any of the Whitebeard commanders, that commander will do an extra effect. So we're going to abuse that in today's video. As you can see, I have Jozu and Marco on this particular team. We are running, obviously, a friend captain Luffy and Garp and Dineen for pick A level 200. So this team can clear it if you guys want to have some fun with it. It's a no-stall team too. I actually just accidentally forgot to tap when I was recording, so I thought I'm not going to rerun this. So I'm just going to put this in the video. So Ace and Whitebeard are exceptional in the sense that if you, like I said, if you use a character that is a Whitebeard commander, you can do a lot of fun stuff. So you have Odin, Marco, Jozu, what's his name, Vista. You have Izo. You have all Fossa, Rakuya, Namul, pretty much every single one of those old school units got level limb breaks and limb break expansions as well. So you can do some really fun stuff with them, not only for what they do in their new abilities, but with the extra ability if you have Whitebeard or Ace as a captain. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them, but basically I'll talk about them once they actually pop up, depending on who's using more special. But Ace and Whitebeard as a captain, they are a powerhouse fighter-based captain. They are both powerhouse fighter, and they are both quick. So you'll always have a quick unit, they'll always have a powerhouse, they'll always have a fighter. Ace is a better captain if you have slots, matching slots, just like Luffy and Ace used to be. And Whitebeard's actually going to do more damage if you're at max HP, or the lower your HP actually is. So the lower your HP, the more damage you're going to do. As Whitebeard. Whitebeard starts with your ship special max, and Ace gives the entire crew, well, fighters and powerhouse, 3 turns of cooldown, so that works out nice. And then they both have that ability where if you have a Whitebeard commander, you get the extra effects. And for this particular team, I have Jozu and Marco, the Kazuna Rare Recruit Marco, who's actually in the Kazuna, is in the metal shop. I actually maxed him out for this particular showcase because he actually has a very fun ability that gives a massive color affinity buff, but he also sets the HP to 1, which is super interesting. Now, the reason that is super interesting is because then Whitebeard and Ace, when they're in their dual form, they actually do a lot more damage, I believe, when you have lower HP. Whitebeard and Ace is a bit of a weird one where you can't go into your dual form unless you super swap. So using their special doesn't actually put them in their dual form, which is the first character I think we've ever seen of that. But as you can see with Marco there, we use the Marco special. He gives us the color affinity buff. He drops our HP to 1. But as you can see, we get a 100% chance to HP guard for 2 turns. And we get 5 turns of the tap timing bonus, which is absolutely perfect for Whitebeard and Ace. When Whitebeard and Ace use their special in their dual form, and you have the 5 turns of tap timing bonus, you actually get a chain boost and an attack boost, which is really strong. Jozu can give you a damage reduction conversion buff at 150%. So his 95% damage reduction turns into a 2.45 times buff, which is just disgustingly strong for free. On top of that, they added resistance in this guy's kit as well, so you can do some really fun stuff there. So the addition to utilizing Whitebeard pirates has become so prevalent under this dual unit that basically, if you can find a Whitebeard pirate that is going to satisfy the condition for whatever utility you need, like Josie, for example, does attack down and despair, you're going to get some really nice benefits out of them. So that was PK at 200. Alright, so diving into some harder content now that wasn't really designed for this character. We're going to take on Heavily Demon 2, and for this particular team, I could only really fit Jozu on the team. I really needed some more cooldown, so Jozu was kind of the best option, but I wanted to showcase that you don't actually need the EX of Whitebeard and Ace to actually have the amount of power that you can get out of them, nor do you need to even really be utilizing a lot of Whitebeard pirates because they do buff powerhouse as well. Fighters are on the rise. Obviously, this whole celebration was built up around fighter characters, but fighters still needs a lot of help. There's a lot of holes and not a lot of options when it comes to particular units that can help you out with taking down a lot of content. But Powerhouse definitely have a lot at their disposal. Pretty much every Big Mom, every Kaido, every Blackbeard, they all satisfy Powerhouse stereotypically in some kind of way. So you have a lot of these particular characters that can work in your favor. For this team, we actually included the Kid Killer Legend that came out just before the anniversary. Very powerful unit, mainly built around Driven, but can also work on Powerhouse teams. So you have a lot of synergy there. The rest of the team is more fighter-centric. We did bring a Luffy character. But unfortunately, we don't have the third character for this team to actually get the EX. That's a big downside to Ace and Whitebeard. You do need 3 characters to trigger the EX. It is basically everyone that revolves around Ace, so like Dineen, Garp, Luffy, Sabo, and then you have like all of the Whitebeard pirates as well, and all the commanders. I believe you have the Skull and Mihal and stuff like that in the EX as well. I don't know if it's in the EX or if it's in the Rush. It's in one of the two. The Spade pirates are included, but they're not actually included in everything, which is very, very wonky, very, very weird for the character's design. But as I mentioned previously, the weird thing about the character is that you can't actually go into their dual form when you use their special. They are the first dual characters to do this, and the only way you can actually get into their dual form is by utilizing their super swap mechanic. Now, to get their super swap, you need to swap 8 times, which is absurdly high. Like, it's an actual ridiculous amount of swaps to then get them into their dual form to get their buffed special ability. And this is a really, really weird one, because obviously without boosted content, you're not really ever going to see the super swap. Like, if I'm being full honest with you guys, this is Dofi 2, and we just get the super swap ready to go by the final stage. Now, obviously you can stall and you can do all that fun stuff, but we live in a world now where characters are so damn strong that if you have to stall forever for a super swap to try and squeeze out a little bit extra damage, I understand it is what it is, but to stall for a significant amount of time to get basically the character to function at its proper utensils, it's a little bit annoying. Like, it's definitely a hole in the character. I feel like they should have had something in their captain ability. I wish they had something in their sailor ability where they started with super swap charges, or maybe instead of having like Whitebeard started with a max ship, hell, even Ace having like 1 turn of super swap and then like Whitebeard have 3 turns, because trying to get their super swap ready to go by the final stage when you are doing short-term content, it's just going to be absurdly hard. And remember, if you aren't super swapping, you're not going to get their dual form captain, which stereotypically will be their strongest form. Now, in their sailor abilities and down when they're like a sub, obviously you're going to be wanting to get their super swap 9 times out of 10. But again, as a sub, they don't have any way of actually getting around or gaining super swap charges, something like Zoro Sanji, where they have like a level, I think it's 7 swaps, but they could get charged with Wano, Recovery, or Tandem Orbs, which is very, very handy. The swap of Whitebeard and Ace will give you a tap timing bonus for Fighter and Powerhouse characters. They completely remove, I believe they remove Despair and Slotbind on themselves. And then their super swap gives a higher tap timing bonus. I believe it's like 0.4 with a perfect, and then it goes up to 0.7 with the super swap. But obviously that super swap will then put them into their dual form, which is the big reason you actually want the character in that dual form. Getting the extra damage output, getting the extra abilities. I think you get like all the damage reduction from Whitebeard, and then you get all of the attacking prowess from Ace. So bit of a hole in the unit, and a bit of a wonky one, because like I said, trying to get that super swap charge just can be so damn challenging, especially in shorter content where you really want to sort of pump through it. But in saying that though, like, I believe Ace is like upwards of like a 6 times captain regardless. Whitebeard goes up to like 6.25, I think, just like off rip. And then in their dual form, I believe they're like a 6.5 times captain. We'll take a look at them at the end once we round out the showcase. But they're very, very powerful as a captain. But lately we've had so much like buffs to Powerhouse. We've had so many other like anniversary characters come out too. I don't really know if this character is going to see the best play as a captain unless you're bringing some of the Whitebeard pirates to get those extra effects. The upside to their EX is you can actually utilize it as a sailor, and their EX is going to give you a base attack boost for Powerhouse and fighter-based characters. It works out quite nicely. Plus, it turns fighters and Powerhouse into their dual form. So, into superclass characters. Their special in their dual form can actually turn Cerebral and Free Spirit characters into Powerhouse characters unless they have it already. So that way you can gain that extra superclass. It's kind of like a nerfed version of Zoro Sanji, if you ask me, but like at least you actually have some way of getting that superclass. It's not like you just turn everyone into both of the classes. Like Zoro Sanji was such a mistake, man. They realized what they did with Zoro Sanji, and they've tried to replicate it, but at the same time they just haven't. Their special gives Powerhouse and Fighters an attack boost. Their captain ability as well, by the way, will extend the attack boost. So if you run 2 of them, like as you can see, we get 3 turns of an attack boost, which is pretty fun. If you have the an attack boost live or 5 turns of the tap timing bonus, you get that chain boost that we spoke about with Marco earlier as well. So they can actually do some really fun stuff with damage output, which works really, really nicely. They also have utilities they capture too, which I forgot to touch on. The utility is actually like something we've never seen before. It's actually 10 turns of special limit removal, which is really, really handy because like not a lot of characters can remove that, and it's normally a limit break ability, and people really struggle to sort of get around it. So you can just use this guy as your captain, and you're going to remove 10 turns of it. But the final clip, I've actually dived into Kawamatsu, the arena, and I thought let's just bring a whole bunch of Whitebeard pirates and let's just absolutely stomp some really old content and showcase like how powerful some of these abilities actually can be. So I threw on the Rare Recruit Vista, Rare Recruit Jozu again. This Jozu, this Strength Jozu, is like so disgustingly strong for like big damage teams. I threw on the Marco, and then I threw on Atmos. Atmos is actually a bit of a weird one, but he actually worked really, really well just for this particular piece of content. So a lot of the like Atmos, Rakuyu, Namul, Blenheim, those types of characters will remove like 6 turns of defense up, damage reduction, or threshold, where like Marco, Jozu, and Vista, Odin, Izo, they're going to give you more damage output base specials. You can increase attack boost, you can increase orb boost, you can increase base attack boost, you can apply increased damage taken. Like, you can do some really, really fun stuff with these Whitebeard pirates, and it, like I said, it is definitely the drawing point to this particular character, and I really hope that they do this in the future with some other characters. Like, if you have, like, say, like, if you create a Luffy, for example, that then does different stuff with, like, Straw Hats as sailors, it just opens the door to so many powerful, like, Straw Hat abilities, then just so much fun when it comes to team building as well. Hell, do it to the Blackbeard pirates, do it to the Redhead pirates, do it to the Kaido pirates, the Beast pirates, do it to Big Mom pirates. Like, it's a really, really cool way and a really intuitive way for people to build teams and try and get different buffs, different debuffs, be content, play with characters they like as well, man. Like, it's like some of these rare recruits and these Whitebeard pirates, they were dead. Like, they were so dead. And this character not only revives them, but they've revived them with level limit breaks and stuff like that as well. So it's a lot of fun. But Jozu, he's going to give that damage reduction conversion buff, as I mentioned. Marco is going to give you the HP guard as well as the 5-turn tap bonus that we have seen already. So that's a really, really nice ability for this particular unit, because this unit is actually a rush unit too. So having the HP guard works exceptionally well. Their rush is a first tap rush. I believe you need like 3 of the Whitebeard pirates, Sabo, the Dan, Gup, the Skull, Mihal, all those types of characters too. And I believe you need to be in their dual form to get their rush. I think that's like another requirement that they have to have. Well, they might need some sort of orb, but that HP guard, it helps out quite a lot. Odin can also give the damage reduction conversion buff, and then you have Vista, Izo, and someone else can actually give you the increased damage taken that goes through full immunity. It's actually crazy. Atmos removed the damage reduction by 6 turns. He can also increase base attack by 1,000, so that's actually massive. And remember, the EX of Ace Whitebeard can actually give you base attack. So there we have it, Ace and Whitebeard. As I mentioned, they are a very strong captain that it can do a lot of fun stuff if you're at full HP, less attack, all that fun stuff. They make quick tandem recovery of matching and remove special limit, extend attack boost, and then have that Whitebeard commander effect. If you are using the Whitebeard commanders, like, they have to be in the Whitebeard commander to actually get the effect. So say, for example, you're running, say, hypothetically, there is a I actually already did a showcase on this. There is the Marco and Vista unit. When you use the special, it triggers Marco first. So it doesn't give you both, unfortunately. If you ran something like Marco and Ace, the dual unit, and you use the special as Ace, you wouldn't get the Marco effects. Marco has to be the one using the special. Odin, Kinemon, Dendro, for example, Odin has to be the one using the special, not Kinemon and Dendro, to get the effects. Otherwise, it won't work. As I mentioned, in their single forms, Whitebeard gives you attack, 6 times attack if you're at full HP or you're at low HP, approximately 5.25 otherwise, where Ace is going to give you the 5.75 times attack, 5 times if you don't have a matching orb. They both do territory as well. Something I forgot to mention, they're a territory for Powerhouse, just like Luffy is for Fighters, and Sabo is for Cerebrals. On top of that, they also remove attack down. It's another thing that I forgot to mention too, which is pretty important for their utility. Their crewmate abilities can do some fun stuff for Fighters. Powerhouse characters get a bunch of buffs as well. Remember, they can turn characters into Powerhouse, and they get 1 turn of cooldown when they are a Sailor and a Powerhouse Fighter uses their special. Bit of a shame they don't get the Super Swap cooldown, but like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Their rush, the final battle has to be the first attack in the chain, and if 2 of the following characters are on the crew, then yeah, you have to be as the double character. So this is the big downside. If you want the rush, you have to be able to get into their dual form. So you have to use the double swap. Jinbei is actually another character that's on here as well. So the rush has all of the Spade Pirates, and then I believe the EX is the one that doesn't have them. But Jinbei is still there for some reason, so that's always fun. So that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Loads!